In this video, I want to show you how to set up your stock trading platform so that you can give yourself a great opportunity at making money and therefore having long-term consistency as a trader. And making money within the markets and as a day trader is all about what information are you looking at? What sort of angles are you looking at? Are you just limiting yourself to a too narrow range of an angle, or are you encapsulating and using the necessary information to make well-informed decisions? Now, before I go to my desktop and actually show you how to set things up and how I would recommend setting up your platform to give you all this information that I just talked about, this is kind of a little mini series, I suppose, and this is a video 3 of the mini series. I've done 2 other videos that I'm assuming you're gonna watch before you go through this. I suppose you don't really need to, but this video, when I go to my desktop, is gonna make the most sense if you watch these first 2 videos. So the first video, if you have not watched these, we'll put a little thumbnail image up. We'll put the links down below there so you can go and watch these. But the first video is all about how do you find context in the sense of relative weakness, relative to strength within the market itself. So watch that video. And then the second video is we need to use a certain indicator within the market, and this indicator is going to help us to understand what I use within that video as, the wind, right? Winds blow back and forth, winds act as a force, and there's always this market force out there that you should be paying attention to within the market. So like I said, you can go watch those couple videos and then come back and watch this, and it'll make the most sense. Like I said though, if you don't, I suppose you can still watch this video, but you may be thinking, wait, why would I care about that? Wait, why is that important? But if you watch those other videos, that'll help out with that. So with that being said, let's go to my desktop and let me show you how I would recommend the general structure of setting up your stock trading platform. Welcome to my desktop here, and what we're looking at is the settings portion of the Webull scanner, just so you can get a little background of how things can be set up. And just to really reiterate, I'm not saying how you see things need to be exactly how you set things up, but this is just a guide to help get you started. And like I said, set up your platform from a general perspective. That way you're getting the knowledge, you're getting the data that you should be considering in making any of your trading decisions. So like I said, here we have the settings, and as an FYI, for those of you that like hotkeys, Webull offers hotkeys. And then as far as, the order entry form, which allows you to get orders out to the market very, very quickly, you can manipulate that in any way you want. And then notifications. So there's a lot of custom ability. I'm not going to go too far down each of those rabbit holes, just because, like I said, from the big picture point of view, I just want to show you how to take those videos that hopefully you've already watched and now really start to apply them and get them set up within your broker and platform, whoever you do choose to use. So the first part, and let's just focus now on, remember, we got to find stocks that are relatively strong, stocks that are relatively weak. And we need our baseline, right? And the baseline being the SPY. So what I like here about Webull is they throw this to you in default, by the way, so I didn't even have to set any of this up. But you click over here on that tab right there, and it brings up everything as far as the market is concerned. There's all sorts of sectors and scanners that are running automatically for you. So it gives you a very quick insight into what's going on around the market. And right here, again, thinking back to that video, as of right now, our benchmark, what we're using as the baseline, is the SPY, which is right there. Currently down at the recording of this video, negative 0.24%. So markets are down 0.24%, and that's going to give you a very quick baseline to terms of, okay, how can I find things that are relatively strong, relatively weak? And really the section that, helps me the most, and I'm not saying none of these other, areas could help you, but you look right here in the rankings area, and they have 3 sections: most active, top gainers, top losers. Now, as traders, we care about volume. You need volume. Without volume, you can have tons of slippage. You can get yourself in some very nasty situations, which is the problem with penny stocks, right? Penny stocks, some of those have very low volume, and it becomes a game of musical chairs. And as traders, we want to avoid games of musical chairs. So for that reason, I like to focus on, and I would recommend at least starting with just simply looking at most active, because most active is being defined as the amount of volume. And as we just discussed, the more volume, the less game of musical chairs it becomes. So you click on, and to just show you, so you can click on those other ones, but let's click on most active, and then you come over here and click on all, and that opens things up. And what I really like here is you can come up here and just organize it. So you could click on volume there in either direction. So here now volume is actually starting from the lowest amount of volume, but we want as much volume as possible. So just make sure that when you're going through your volume scanners, you have at the top the most volume, and then as you go down, make sure that the volume is in that sequence. And then the other very important column is, remember, we're trying to figure out relative strength,
relative to weakness. So the quick way to do that, as I explained in that other video, just look at the percent change. So those two columns, I mean, you can manipulate things in and out. So I mean, technically speaking, if you wanted to, you could delete a bunch of stuff out and then just have those columns. Like I said, those things, that's totally personal preference. That's up to you. But you know, that's an idea. If you just want to really condense everything, then you could do that. So let's just say that for whatever reason, I'm just making this up. All right, well, the markets are gapping down. They're currently down 0.24%. I want to find a bigger board stock, and I want to find a big board stock that's relatively weak, right? So in other words, it needs to be gapping down more than what the overall markets are down. And it needs to be a bigger stock. So over here, you have, like I said, all the ticker symbols. So you can just start to scroll down them. Now you can, do share price. So right here, you have price. So if you want something higher priced or lower priced, you can do all of that. But like I said, in this little story I'm making up, let's just say you want a bigger board stock that's relatively weak. So you go down and you notice, okay, well, UAL, United Airlines. Okay, yeah, I've heard of United Airlines. They're definitely a big company. Okay, yeah, they're not super expensive. I mean, they're not like a penny stock either at $33. And wow, they're currently down 6%. That is definitely relatively weak compared to the market. So just like that, you now have a baseline, you have a backbone for some sort of trade plan using UAL. So UAL is going to be what we carry through now in terms of getting your chart set up so that you can measure those market winds, those market forces. So think back to that other video. The SPY is like the wind, and you need to be able to measure the wind, use it as an indicator. And here is how, I would say you could set things up and, like I said, put yourself in a situation where you can monitor a particular stock, but also keep off to the side, understanding what's going on with the overall environment and the overall context regarding that stock. Now for this, what you would want to be focused on is you're going to want to come over here and click on this area, which is where all your charts are at. So right there, click on there, and by default, you're going to have some sort of chart there. I was screwing around with things a little bit, so I just have one chart. But what's awesome about Webull is it allows you to take one ticker symbol and then look at it through multiple time frames. And multiple time frames matter. You want to make sure that you are looking at multiple angles with whatever stock you're looking at. You don't want to just look at one angle, because if you look at something, and that's really anything in life, right? If you look at it from only one angle, from one vantage point, you have a high risk of missing something. So you do want to look at multiple time frames. And like I said, a very quick way to do this is you come up here to grid, and you can right there, I mean, you could really do, if you wanted to do 9 charts, but let's just do 4. So just like that, now all of a sudden you have 4 chart choices. Now, in order to do this, the key dynamic here is you're going to want to come up here, and when you click grid, make sure you click sync on all charts. That way, whenever you change a chart, they all pop up. So for example, if I did not click that and I came over here and did Netflix, then all these would not change. But if I had it like this, so now if I were to go, and let's just type Facebook over here, well, all of a sudden this is Facebook, but all these are Netflix. But again, we want the same ticker symbol, just a bunch of time frames. So because of that, you're going to want to make sure that you click that you sync all symbols. And now it's just a matter of, this is, I'm not saying this is the holy grail. I'm not saying that this is how you have to do it. But as a day trader like myself, I would want, and you look right here on the charts, and this is where it's giving you, I call it a time frame, interval is what this platform calls it. But you have the various different intervals. So for this, because I'm a day trader, well, I definitely care about what's going on every minute. I would definitely want to care about what's going on every 5 minute. And every 15 minute is a great time frame. And for me, I love my 30-minute time frame. So also the 30-minute time frame. So again, just to reiterate, what we're looking at here is the same exact stock. But in this situation, remember, we care about UAL. So let's get UAL in there. And again, watch when I hit it, all these charts will change to UAL. So now we're looking at UAL. And over here, we have the 1 minute time frame. So what is going on with UAL stock price every 1 minute? What's going on with the stock price every 5 minutes, every 15 minutes, and then every 30 minutes. And I mean, you could do an hour, every 2 hours, every 4 hours, daily, weekly. So I mean, there's all sorts of different time frames, but this is where, there's no holy grail. You got to get out there and just experiment with things. But now we have our setup. But at this point, it's really a question of, okay, well, we have this, but we still need our indicator of the SPY, right? The SPY, and what I would recommend is the 5 minute time frame. So what's nice about this is you could come up here and click detach window, and now all of a sudden you have UAL right up here. So let's just move that up here on the screen, and let's come back to here. And because we only care about the SPY, well, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just say for whatever reason, you want to track another stock too. So we'll go back to the market. And let's see, what's another one that is, let's just say you want one now that is relatively, let's see. There we go. So Snap, right there. Snapchat is actually relatively strong compared to the market. Markets are gapping down. So we have SNAP, Snapchat, $25, but it's actually gapping up. So this is relatively strong. So let's just say, and I'm totally making this up, within your strategy, you always want to be monitoring something that is relatively strong and relatively weak. So you come back here to the charts. And the nice thing here is once you do this, you don't have to do this every single time. You'll just save the layout. But this is how you want to get things set up. But over here, you would just come and once again, click detach window. So now all of a sudden you have another set of these, and let's just move this down here on your screen. But for this, we care about, as we just talked about, Snap. So now you have Snap. Notice how everything populated. And at this point, let's get this out of the way for now. What we're looking at here is two separate charts, right? Two separate ticker symbols that you care about. Here we have UAL. Here we have Snap. 4 different time frames for each. And you could do this again and have 4 more over here and 4 more over here, but I'm working with one monitor here. So we got to try to keep this all on one monitor. But like I said, depending on how many monitors you have, you could just do this several times and have monitors filled with, multiple stocks all at once. But again, like I said, I'm working with just the one monitor here. So bear with me as we set this up. So as far as that, let's just say you're good with, nope, I just want to look at 2 stocks at once and then, 4 tickers, or 4 time intervals for each one. So you have that all set up. Well, at this point, we still need what? We still need our baseline. So again, this is where you could come back over here and just say, okay, well, for this, I only care about 1. So let's change this back to 1. And remember what we want here is the SPY. So now we have the SPY. We want the 5-minute. And then for this, you can just, you could really do, if you wanted to, you could just detach this window here once again. So detach this window, and at this point, let's just put this up at this part of your screen. Extend this out. So now we have the SPY 5-minute. Again, going back to, let me get this out of here. Going back to the video, we now have the wind right here. We have our indicator, the SPY 5-minute, so you can get an idea of what's going on relative to the overall markets, how the market's currently behaving, and then you have these individual ticker symbols over here. So now we have our market, baseline. We've found some stocks that are relatively strong, relatively weak, but as the video is discussed, you still want to continue to measure the SPY, right? And now we have this all in one location, right? We have our stocks that we're watching. We have the SPY. And then after that, and this is, you could do so many different things. Sorry about that. I'm not sure why it freaks out like that, but you could do so many things. You could, so for example, let's do this. Maybe right here, you just want to condense this down in somewhere. So right here is the order entry area. So you could put that. So basically what I'm getting at is at this point, the general bits of knowledge have been put into play, right? We've now have an idea of how to find relative strength, relative weakness. We now can measure the overall market wins, the overall market force using the indicator up here, the SPY 500. And then here, it's really up to you. If you're working with a one screen monitor, you could put your order box, down here. You could put some more scanners up here. There's a variety of things to do, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's all personal preference. But like I said, the goal here for me was just how to get the important things set up. And that way, from there, you can still have some space left on your screen to populate however you want. And again, no such thing as a right or wrong way to do any of this. It's all just a matter of maybe you're somebody that's like, no, I would want my order entry box on another screen, and I would just want this with even more charts. That's totally fine. I'm not saying there was anything wrong with that. But maybe, like I said, you only have one monitor, but at least in this situation, you would still have space to fill those things in. But by putting this and using a platform that allows you to just quickly get multiple time frames, multiple charts, find relative strength, find relative to weakness, and then just get that SPY 5-minute up there all on one screen, this is for you Star Wars fans and a fully operational battle station now. And like I said, you still have space for your order entry box. So we'll just call this order entry. Down here, you could have some more scanners, as we just saw. And then over here, I mean, you can have, I don't know, a picture of your dog. You still have plenty of space left over. So that's how I would recommend setting up, getting started, and it's a good kind of launch pad to put yourself in the best spot to make some money. Again, is this the holy grail? No, I'm not saying that, but is it a good spot for a beginner and how to structure and how to get your platform set up? It absolutely is. So be sure to, at least start there, get those main things in place so that way you can start to get the knowledge that's going to help you make good decisions as a trader.
I know I said it a million times during the desktop, but I'm going to say it one more time. Remember, this was just a general structure. This is not some sort of, hey, you have to set it up exactly like this in order to have success. Nothing like that. My core idea here, and if I did my job right, was to show you the general pieces of information that you want to have, right? Multiple time frames. You want to have the SPY so you can measure that market force, that market wind, and that way from there you can start to fill in all the blanks of, where do you want your order entry window? Where do you want your scanners? Where do you want, maybe if you're part of a chat room, where do you want your chat room at? And things like that, I'll leave that up to you, but you got to have these backbone pieces of information so that, like I said, you can make good decisions as a trader. If you found this video helpful and if you found these kind of walkthrough guides helpful, then the quickest, easiest way to do that and to help me out there is to hit that like button, and that way I know my time is being well invested by doing videos like this. So yeah, just hit that like button. Also, comments, questions, suggestions for future videos, leave those down below. If you've ever watched any of my past videos, then you know that I do read and reply to comments. So I will reply to them and certainly will read them. And then finally, check out the channel as a whole. Hopefully you like what you see. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, so hit that subscribe button. Thanks for hanging out.
First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.